Well, howdy. Another live show for the 17th of November, 2017. The music you're hearing is Ethan Meixell, Meixsell, Ethan Meixell, entitled Run. You can find that on YouTube. Yeah, thank you, Ethan. Appreciate that very, very much. So, yes, this is the American Liberty Radio Network live broadcast right now on the 17th of November, 2017. Lots of crap has been going on, hasn't it? My God, what the hell is going Jeez. Yeah, I'm going to get this out of the way because I don't even want to talk about this. I just want to share this with you. Oh my God. Why are men becoming so effeminate? We're losing an entire generation to estrogen takeover. Men's testosterone levels in the West have been dropping every year since the 80s. Estrogen in food and water supply as a result of birth control and other contaminants is reaching crisis level. What is going on? Is it mainly cultural or environmental? How can we reverse the loss of an entire generation? Yes, that's going up on American Liberty Radio Network on Facebook. Okay. And I have never in my entire life seen such push for gender neutral environment. I have not, I just never. I've been around gay people, lesbian, gay men, lesbian women since the 1970s, folks. Since the 1970s, and I have family members and friends who are gay, and I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that. It's great. We can still go out to lunch, and it's fine. And the thing is that in the last 10 or 15 years, I've never seen such a push for a gender neutral environment. Okay. Now, it's kind of, I don't know, an unwritten rule, if you will, in the military that if you have a female sergeant or a female whatever, you just call them, ma'am. You call them, yes, ma'am. And in some sci-fi movies, you see them being called sir. But, there's that, And then you have these people that are identifying as certain things. It's like, excuse me, you're male. Okay? You're female, period. That's all there is to it. There's no, I'm, what about that 40-some-year-old man, 46-year-old man identifying as a 6-year-old or whatever the hell he is? And what kind of crap is that? No, get rid of all that. You're male, you're female, period. Pfft, done. Okay, it's some people, and if you say, and I know this because I've talked to friends and family members who are, gay men and lesbian women. I said, how do you feel when people, look at you and say, oh, you're female, but you're a lesbian? How does that make you? And one of my friends, very good friend, as a matter of fact, that I haven't seen in like 10 years, literally said, I am who I am. And I went, okay, which means you're a human being. However you feel is how you feel. What you feel within yourself or how you feel about yourself is what you feel. No one can change that. No one. But I've never seen such a push, regardless of a gender-neutral environment, from so many people that didn't want to identify as anything. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why every moral issue has to be politicized. But when you break it down to the very simplest form to understand all this, I don't care if you're lesbian or a gay man. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter. You're a human being. Hello, welcome to life. Let's go to lunch. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter to me. But there's groups of people that want gender-neutral environments. Don't identify as male or female. Don't identify, as sir or ma'am. No. There's that push. You see what I'm saying? I've never seen so much of a push, and never in my life have I seen this. And just within the last, I don't know, I'm going to say 5 years. It could be more, could be less. But yeah, I've never seen such a push. Doesn't matter who you are. I don't care. But don't you see it? You know what I'm saying? It's out there. It's just incredible because, to me, and it's just me. This is me. It's just, just me. How can anyone even agree to pushing to such a degree people to be something they're not? How can you even begin to think about doing that? Something is, for those people pushing all this other crap, for those people to do that, there's a mental illness there. There's a mental disorder that seriously has to be taken a look at. Seriously. Because I don't have the answer to any of it. All right? I don't. Honestly don't. Clifford Cunningham. Oh, that article I talked about is up on American Liberty Radio Network on Facebook. Clifford Cunningham, Infowars.com, 17 November 2017. Democrat Senator Bill Clinton should have resigned following Lewinsky scandal. As we predicted, Dems turning on Clintons. So let's go into this direction. I told you in the past few podcasts that the Democrats are eating themselves. They're imploding upon themselves. Their corruption within their own ranks has gotten to the point where now everything they're doing is destructive to their own agenda. Okay, and this is true with the Republicans, the rhinos and the dinos and the linos, the Republicans in name only, Democrats in name only, or libertarians in name only. It's the same thing with those two, with the Republicans and the libertarians. They're doing everything they can to destroy their own foundation. And honestly, it is, I just think that I've known this was coming for many, many years. To give you an idea of how far back I'm talking about, when Ford was president, when Gerald R. Ford was president of the United States, when Richard Nixon resigned the office, I saw the Democrats really tearing themselves apart back then. Okay? New York Senator who inherited the seat once held by Hillary Clinton has suggested former President Bill Clinton should have resigned following the Monica Lewinsky scandal, drawing charges of hypocrisy from at least one former Clinton aide. Quote, yes, I think it is. I think that is an appropriate response, unquote, declared Democratic Senator Kristen Gillibrand when asked by the New York Times if Bill Clinton should have resigned following the Monica Lewinsky scandal. Excuse me. This is going up on American Liberty Radio Network as well, on Facebook. Bill Clinton had his moments in the sun. You know, if it wasn't for, Monica Lewinsky, I don't think he would have been, he was not impeached, folks. The impeachment proceedings were there and all the papers were signed, but he never was impeached. Just go back and look at it. He was never impeached, okay? And so, excuse me. Yeah, that's what I get for eating before coming on air. The thing that really has changed things over the years for me and how I look at any of this is that I break everything down in the most simplest form possible for me to understand. I take the most complicated thing in life and I just break it down. I find key points, I bring those out, and I look at those, and then I take the sub-points and I look at those, and then I build a foundation, and it works. It's the most simplest way I can. It's 1 + 1 = 2. There you go. That's as simple as I can get it, folks. And once I identify those things for what they are, and I look at the obvious and I pay attention to what's going on, most of those things literally that I've learned through all that, through all that and throughout the years, everything has shown me what not only is happening, obviously, but what is going to happen if those things continue on. Guess what? Been right almost every single time. Every single thing that I've seen over the last 40 years of researching geopolitics has been this. Somewhere in the vicinity of about 85%, somewhere, give or take 5 points, it has been completely accurate. Everything. Everything. There hasn't been one moment that I've seen over the years that has given me anything other than the true perspective of what it is. In other words, the foundation of what's going on in this country, coupled with the shadow government doing what they can to try to tear down this country. That whole thing has given me a whole new perspective as far as what they want. They, meaning they versus us, that type of thing. And from that point, I see the intent, which is to destroy the United States of America. The shadow government operating through Washington, D.C. and all their little rhinos, dinos, and linos, putting out all this stuff into the mainstream propaganda, to the mainstream propagandists in the media, and tearing down intellectually the walls of these people that just literally are clamoring for something to be done, which is usually about, we know who they are. This whole thing begins to crumble because people like us, people like Alex Jones, people like Brian Lang, people like Nick Tucker, all these people in the independent media. Pete Santilli is now back on air, so we have that in our arsenal of independent media. John Christopher, J-Man Collins, we have him, thetruthboard.net. All these people are now looking at the structure crumbling beneath the shadow government and the minions they control. And we're pointing it out. And we're showing them this is what's going on. And just as we see this, we see the underlying, not even underlying, it's more obvious than that. We see the outright lies they are perpetrating or disseminating out into the general public. This is one of the key reasons why the shadow government, the minions, the Democrats, the Republicans, libertarians, all in name only, right? Those three. That's why they're crumbling. Because lie upon lie upon lie is like cancer. It will eat you alive and destroy you from the inside out. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. And as far as I'm concerned, these people are going to fall apart. I mean, these people are they're eating them, they're eating themselves. They're tearing each other apart. You know, because some are having a change of heart. They're thinking, wait a minute, hold on, what are we doing here? And so more and more of the Republican and Democratic side of the political powers in this country are now going and leaving their party for independent political parties. Okay. Overall, there's, little factions and little groups under the independent, political flag, but basically they're independent. And you have people infiltrating that party in name only. These people that, Democrats are going, maybe we should infiltrate the independent party. So guess who their favorite poster boy is? Bernie Sanders. He's going to run for president in 2020 under the independent, as an independent. You didn't know that, did you? All these parties are infiltrated by shadow government minions that are deceitful and lying and literally intellectually complicated. And so they can't tell the truth because they've been indoctrinated and trained to lie. That's just the way it is. So, after all that, let's get on to something else. Dan Lyman, Infowars.com, 17 November 2017. Europe revolts against EU. Austria tackles immigration. Merkel faces ouster. Globalist hit roadblock as Europeans reject mass migration. Thankfully, this is what needs to, this is what needed to be, in Europe, because Merkel is a globalist. Angela Merkel is a globalist. If Hitler was alive today, it'd be Angela Merkel, because literally that's what she is. The tide is turning in key parts of Europe as the issues of immigration and national security have reached critical mass, prompting political upheaval across the continent sparked by backlash against open borders. Austria's interior minister is reporting that applications for asylum have decreased by 43% this year, while the rate of deportation has increased by over 50%. Applicants admitted to the asylum program in 2016 maxed out Austria's cap of 37,500 as over 36,000 were accepted. However, only half of this year's capacity of 35,000 have been filled, a sharp decline. So there you go. That's what needs to happen in the United States of America. We need to close the damn border. We need to say, here's what you need to do, and if you can't do it, tough. We are now, go to usdebtclock.org, usdebtclock.org, and look at how much debt we have. U.S. national debt, $20.4 trillion. U.S. federal spending is up 126% at $4 trillion. Debt per citizen. 10 years ago, it was around $28,000 to $30,000. $62,827. Debt per citizen. Debt per taxpayer, $169,000. I mean, seriously, U.S. federal tax revenue, what the money they get in, it's up 67% to $3.3 trillion. Revenue per citizen is $10,245. That's poverty, folks. That's poverty. Revenue, money you take in, gross. $10,245. That's per person. That's per citizen. Revenue per taxpayer, what they pay out is a lot more than what they bring in at $27,682. I mean, seriously, folks, we're done. We are just seriously done. Get this, U.S. total debt up 153%. $68 trillion, folks. $68 trillion. The U.S. national debt is $20 trillion. Okay? Seriously. I mean, folks, we're busted. U.S. federal budget deficit, $5.6 trillion. Social Security liabilities, in other words, how much money they got to pay out all the time, $16 trillion. Medicare liabilities, $27 trillion. U.S. unfunded liabilities. Get this, U.S. unfunded liabilities is at $108 trillion. Liability per taxpayer, $901,000. $901,000. Folks, that's going up on American Liberty Radio Network for you guys to click on. Anybody in another country, I want to ask you, if you guys have something similar to our U.S. debt clock, post it there at American Liberty Radio Network. I'd like to know what other countries are spending just on citizens themselves and how much citizens are really supporting the government. Okay? This is incredible, folks. This is absolutely incredible. Okay? It's just, I don't know what else to say, folks. I mean, here we are we thought we're in the best country in the world. We thought we were in the greatest nation of the world because we have, we have the innovation, we have the technology, we have all of this. But my other half pointed something out the other day. How come China and Japan and all these other countries, technology-wise, have better computers, better technology, better AI, better robotics, better? You see where I'm going with that, right? And I know what it is in the United States. I know exactly what it is. Number one, everybody's in it for the profit. So they're going to jack up all their prices, yada, 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 to keep putting computers into the homes. Can you say the Matrix? Okay. Now, that's just a side note. Number two, if we were to take at least 80% of all profits of all of these computer manufacturer and software manufacturing companies and put it into the incredible technology that we see in our futuristic visions, the United States of America would have no problem surviving. There's only two things we have to do. Number one, get rid of the federal government. We don't need a centralized government in the United States. That's number one. Repeal the Act of 1871. Number two, and I know this might sound strange, and I know that in theory it probably works, but get rid of all profit. Get rid of everything that requires a profit. Now, you as a small business owner need a profit to keep your doors open. Okay, give you a virtual high five on that one. Let's keep you in business. But every conglomerate out there, from insurance companies to computer companies to you name it, we need to get the profit out of your hands. Why? Because you need to start contributing to society, not contributing to your ability to buy your, brand new 2017 Lexus with all the bells and whistles. Oh yeah, you can keep a high-tech home. You can, do what I'm fine with that, but no. And if you, little side note, want to continue to have a centralized government, then here's this. And this is also going to work with the economy as well. So here's this. Get rid of every single attorney that is in Congress right now. Every single one of them, because they're mostly attorneys and they're writing laws that they're immune from, okay? Get rid of all of those attorneys. Get rid of them all. Here's what you need to do. 3 representatives per state. And since we like Puerto Rico so much, put 2 representatives there. How's that? It's a smaller place. Why not? Each state has a governor, you hope. Not a dictator like they have in California. But that's one representative. Then if you want to still have this 2-party senseless system of, Democrat and Republican, okay, let's throw those in there. 3 representatives per state, period, end of sentence. 50 states, 150 congressmen. Throw a couple into, Puerto Rico, that's fine. They're human beings too. They need representation. There you go. Forget, and each one of those congressmen and those people, 150 people, can use at least 1 to 2, assistants. Okay? So there's, what is that? 304 people? I think, or 306. My math is terrible this morning. Not enough coffee. So there you go. We don't need 525 or was it 323, whatever, 520, I don't know, whatever. We don't need all of those people in Washington, D.C. We need to turn Congress into a museum. We need to turn the White House into a museum. We need to just, Now, how's that going to work? Well, in theory, that would probably work very well. But then what about the disenchanted, the disenfranchised, the people that are on the fringes? Where are their representatives? We, the people. That's it. We, the people. Is that a conglomerate of people that will do what do what happened in the Bolshevik Revolution to create a Russian Soviet, the United Soviet Socialist Republic? They got rid of the czars. They got rid of all that. Okay. Is that going to happen? No, because I think the vast majority of people in the U.S. have common sense and we know what not to do. Okay. So, in theory, I'm just going to say all of that works, okay? All of it works. Hey, I'm going to take a break here, folks. It's the bottom of the hour. I may go over the top of the hour. Don't know yet. I'll be right back. This is American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com.
Greetings, this is John LeBang of The John LeBang Show, and you're listening to the American Liberty Radio Network.
Late Night in the Midlands is for the people, by the people. No shady backroom deals here. We expose the truth, no matter who it leads to. We are an independent media who holds no one above the truth and have no alliances and no agenda. We offer our shows absolutely free because the truth will set you free, and we believe it should be free. However, we do ask that you donate, and we also offer subscriptions to help support our work and keep LNM on the air. We are not mainstream media that is owned and controlled by the New World Order. We are not alternative media that has been infiltrated with paid agents in wild fantasy. No. We are a free-thinking, free-speaking, tell it like it is, independent media that just happens to cover everything but not fall for anything. The best guests, the best information, Late Night in the Midlands, independent media exposing the truth, one show at a time.
Growing up terrestrial radio, the future is here. Destroying the liberal media, one truth bomb at a time. Independent media is shattering the liberal national security media into a million pieces. Their views of the world are based on the script the government gives them. Independent media seeks out and finds the truth and reports on what is truly going on behind the scenes. Support the truth and facts. Support independent media. Spreaker has it all. Set up your account and get ready to record podcasts or host live radio shows from your computer or mobile device. Spreaker's wide range of tools covers every step of the podcasting process, from simple recording and podcasting apps to analytics on your audience. You can upload files or migrate content over using the RSS importer. Host your show today. For more information, go to Spreaker.com. Hey folks, how you doing? This is Wayne S. Pierce for the American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. I'm out of breath. I had to run to the other room for a minute. Anyway, so how are we doing today on the 17th of November, 2017? It's just... I don't know, man. Anyway, I know that I say a few things that some people might say, well, that didn't make any sense. How's that going to work? Well, okay. 1 + 1 = 2. Figure it out, It's like, what's going to work? What is going to work for the best effect? How are we all going to come together as humanity and compromise to make things work for the better of humanity? How are we going to do that? Now, in some, I should say not in, from certain points of view, from certain perspectives, you will have people that say, well, what's so wrong with communism? What's so wrong with socialism? What's so wrong with fascism? What's so wrong with these, these types of political philosophies? 4 words. They do not work. Well, geez, look at China and Russia. Yeah, they intimidate and cause fear in their people. You can't speak out in China against the government. You can't speak out against the government in Russia. But we are the only country in the world that we can tell each other and yell at the politicians and call them stupid and ignorant, and we can, and we do have the power to do this. We can engage in citizens' arrest of our politicians. You can't do that in other countries. You can't. There's no way. The London mayor, I think his name is Khan, I forget his first name. The people need to come together and force him out of office and once he's outside and away from that, they can engage in whatever their version of a citizen's arrest is, because he's committing a crime against humanity. That's the ultimate crime. A crime against humanity. Even murder is up there as well. But can you do that with the parliament in Russia? Can you do that in the parliament of England? Can you do that in the halls of politics in China? Not so much. But in the United States of America, we have the ability and the freedom to say and do whatever it is we want within reason. And we have the ability to do what we can to change our government, because it is in the Declaration of Independence, folks, and the Constitution. Here, I like I said, I may have to go to past the top of the hour. Let's see if I can type correctly. Declaration of Independence. If my fingers want to work. Sometimes my brain goes faster than my fingers. So anyway, let me read this to you. Let me read this to you. A portion of the Declaration of Independence passed by Congress, 4th of July, 1776. Let me read you a portion of this. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. That word men is translated to the word humanity, or from the word which means, as a whole, human beings. That they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, or as some people would say, unalienable rights. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That, here's the important part, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted by, or I should say, let me say this, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, you and I. That whenever, now here's another important part, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. I just cannot emphasize that more. Okay? It's important to know, and I know this for a fact because I've studied history. I've looked at the very nature of who we are as a country. And who we are as a country is a mishmash of people that want peace, freedom, liberty, and security for the United States of America and for ourselves. That's what we want. But a lot of other people are saying, no, you're not going to have it. We don't want you to have it. We don't care. We don't want you to have it. We want to control you. We want to control the internet. We want to control the flow of information. We want to censor you. We don't like what you say, so we're going to shut you down. You have those types of people. That is complete contradiction to the peace, freedom, liberty, and security that we want in this country. Okay? I don't give one rip what the opposition to the principles of peace, freedom, liberty, and security want. I don't care. They can pack their crap. They can get the F out of the country. Bye. I mean, that's, there's cruise ships, Princess Cruise Lines, places like that. There's cruise ships going all over the world to various locations. Why don't you, hop on one of those and just leave? Why don't you just, go and take a plane, go someplace? Because we don't want you here. Now, some people might say, well, then you want a controlled government by one party. No, I don't. Here's what I want. Exactly what the founding fathers wanted for this country. A government not centralized, but state-run in each state. And if you still want a centralized government, then it has to be heavily controlled and regulated by the states themselves, through the people. I want a government of, by, and for the people, period. The consent of the governed. That's the only type of government there should be. You and I tell the government what to do, not the other way around. We are their bosses. They're not ours. So, what are we going to do? What are we going to do, folks? That's entirely up to you. New York Post, if I can speak. New York Post is reporting the 17th of November 2017, Dems reckoning, that's in quotes, reckoning with Bill's sexual offenses is the final nail in the Clintons' coffin. America finally witnessing death of Clinton brand. And the person here that wrote for, let me just take it right to the New York Post, nypost.com. Seth Mandel wrote this yesterday, 16th November 2017. He says, I arrived at Barnes & Noble just as an evening with Bernie Sanders was drawing to a close, and while browsing, I couldn't help but notice the 20-somethings filing out of the event with the senator who were reacting as if they'd just met the Beatles. This was a couple of days before this, and this is what Seth Mandel says on the New York Post, nypost.com. This was November 14th, 2016. Less than a week after Election Day, the corpse of Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign was still warm. Sanders was 75 years old, but no matter. He was the future of the Democratic Party, or at least his ideas were, and the enthusiasm with which he shepherded his flock to them. Shepherded. Is that a word? Must be. So the recent wave of liberals reckoning with Bill Clinton's sexual offenses should be put into proper context. It is not the beginning of the end of the Clintons atop the Democratic Party. It's just the end. So this is all going on. If the damn ads would stop popping up on the website. This is going up on American Liberty Radio Network. Okay? American Liberty Radio Network on Facebook. Okay? And there it is. The Clinton brand that has lasted for well over 20 years is bankrupt. Just, there you go. And I'm looking at some headlines here, and there are some that I will not read to you because they're not conducive to what information you're looking for. But here's one. Zero Hedge is reporting Tyler Durden over at Zero Hedge. Congress discloses complete amount of harassment settlements in past 20 years. While it's not surprising that 2007, the year when spirits were high, housing prices had just hit a record, and a financial bubble was about to burst, but not yet, was a swinging one on the Hill with a whopping 25 sexual harassment settlements, the most in the past 20 years. We wonder what happened in 2002 when only 10 settlements led to a near-record $4 million in awards. This question was prompted by the first-ever release of the congressional harassment records unveiled yesterday for the first time by the Congressional Office of Compliance. There you go. It's going up on American Liberty Radio Network on Facebook. I want to ask this, and this is more generic, if you will. You're at work. You're doing what you're doing, right? You're just there, you're working, right? You take a little break, you go in the break room. And you see one of your coworkers, very beautiful woman. You've known her for quite a few months, maybe a couple of years. Okay? And you look at her and you comment just as an observation. You say, hey, well, you look really good. You look beautiful. And then you just go about your business. Right? And she says thank you and engages in that compliment, And it's a compliment. You're complimenting her. When did a compliment become, a harassment? It's just a general question. It's just a general scenario. When did complimenting someone become classified as sexual harassment? Huh? I don't get it. I just don't. Can you tell me? Go to American Liberty Radio Network on Facebook and answer that question, because I have no clue. When did a compliment, even guys to guys, just, hey, wow, women to women, guys to guys, when did a compliment become classified as sexual harassment? Let me give you a little clue. Political correctness. Let me give you a bit more clue on top of that. Well, no, that is the clue. I'll just leave it at that. Political correctness. I'll just leave it at that. There you go. From yesterday, 16th of November, 2017, school punishes 7th grader over, quote-unquote, fake news shirt worn during trip to CNN. CNN is the tip of the iceberg of fake news. And this is from Infowars.com, 16th of November, 2017. A 7th grade boy in DeKalb County, Georgia, was forced to remove his quote-unquote fake news network t-shirt when his class took a field trip to CNN's Atlanta headquarters. The boys' parents, Nancy and Stan Jester, were both elected officials. Nancy is a county commissioner and Stan is a school board member. Now let me go. Isn't it kind of interesting that their last name is Jester? Interesting. Stan Jester wrote about the situation on his blog saying, back in October, the girls at Cedar Grove High School in DeKalb County School District took a knee before their playoff game. In a statement issued by DeKalb Schools, quote, if students should elect to express their free speech rights, we want to create and provide a safe space to do so. The goal is not to interfere with the student's constitutional right to freedom of expression, unquote. He goes on to say, I advocate for the First Amendment across the board. I hope the freedom of students to express themselves will be vigilantly defended across the political, religious, etc. spectrums, stripped of his liberties. Hold on. Time out. Time freaking out here. Listen up. I'm going to say this once, and you better pay attention to it, United States of America and everybody living in this country. When you clock in at your job, or when you walk onto a campus, whether you're in elementary school, junior high, high school, doesn't matter, you do not give up your constitutional rights, period. Just because you clock into your job doesn't mean you lose or suspend your constitutionally protected rights, period. Same thing with schools. I don't give one rip what you freaking liberal attorneys will say. You do not give up your rights, nor are your rights suspended for any reason whatsoever. Got a problem with that? You liberal progressive attorneys? Pardon my French, but I'm going to point my finger right at your chest and pound that chest until you get it. If you don't like the freedoms we express, that we have the right to express in this country, pack your shit and move to Russia. I'm done. We have the right to express ourselves in any manner possible. And now, in this politically correct, charged era, we are now pushed into a corner because, oh my God, somebody got offended. Shut up. Grow some thicker skin. Pull up your big boy pants and get the hell out of here. That's just the way it is. Not because I said so, because if you look at the obvious, you'll see it. I know. I'm going to stop myself. I'm going to stop right now. That's on American Liberty Radio Network. I don't really give a crap what you freaking liberals say. And when I say liberals, I'm not talking about the true liberals that were back 100 and some odd years ago that truly, helped people grow and become better. No. Time out. I'm talking about those Democratic Socialist and Republican fascists who are part of the Progressive Party and the Democrats in name only, Republicans in name only, Libertarians in name only. I'm talking to those folks too. If you do not like the principles of peace, freedom, liberty, and security and what our founding fathers created for us right now in 2017, I guarantee you, you've only got one option. Pack your crap and get the hell out of the country because you don't belong here. Now, a lot of people would say, well, that's wrong. Everybody has a right to say and express things that they want. I agree. Virtual high five to you. But not when it starts to undermine my rights of my freedom of expression and my freedom of speech. You start undermining that, you and I are going to go outside. Meet you at the flag at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You know what I'm saying? This bull crap has got to stop now. You either shut your damn mouth, pack your crap, and leave and get to another country that most aligns to your political philosophies, or you can just keep your damn mouth shut and learn what the true freedom of America and the true liberties of the people truly are. If you can't do that, I'm sure Russia or North Korea would love your citizenship. And there are American people living in China. They have businesses, they work. They're over there. Pack your crap and get the hell out of the United States of America. I'm serious. I pull no punches. In 2014, I said it. I'm not going to pull any more punches. Pack your crap and get the hell out of here if you don't like America. We have that freedom of speech. I can sit there and disagree with you, and you can disagree with me, and we can talk about it, and we can discuss these things, and we can walk away, and I can still buy you a coffee. But when you start to undermine and push for federal censorship of my freedom of speech, no. That political correctness is going to get thrown in the trash, and you're going to get your ass booted out of the United States of America. It's not going to happen on my watch. Not in my backyard. You try that crap up here in Montana, I guarantee you the gun owners are going to give you something to think about. Because our founding fathers knew that we had the ability to speak and express ourselves in ways that we felt were right, that we felt were following our conscience, doing what we needed to do. They understood that, so they boom, First Amendment. There we go. You have the right to say it. You have the right to disagree. You have the right to discuss. But the federal courts have said you cannot tell someone to stop doing what they're doing when their constitutional rights are being violated. You cannot do that, period, end of sentence. Go look up Supreme Court law. Go look up the cases. I don't have them in front of me, but you guys go do that. And the founding fathers also decided, hey, since we have a First Amendment and since people are going to get pissed off by it, we'll create the Second Amendment because everybody has a right to protect themselves from a tyrannical government suppressing the rights and the liberties and the freedoms of the people. It's not about hunting deer, folks. Did you know that you can have a weapon of your own and protect yourself in Russia? Go look at the the Constitution of the Russian Federation. Go look at it. Go read it. I have. Kind of interesting when it almost mirrors the Constitution and the Bill of Rights of the United States of America, doesn't it? Huh. Coincidence? I don't think so. But other countries have seen us and have identified us. Other countries, many out there, have identified us as a police state, and we are. Hey, I'm going to go now. I'm not going to go over to the top of the hour because I got stuff to do in the studio. So, talk to you tomorrow, tomorrow on the American Liberty Radio podcast. This is American Liberty Radio Network, sharing the truth one fact at a time without all the BS.